What is up, everybody? Benwa here. Welcome to the Tactical Fellowship. The purpose of today's video is to show you this here amazing Ruger 1022 Artos custom build. It's one of those builds that has some high-end tweaks on a medium-sized budget, sure to keep you Plinkertons out there happy, wealthy, and wise. So let's dive into it. Before we get to that though, how about you go ahead and stick your thumb up YouTube's anti-gun loving hole by liking and subscribing. And I'm not sure if we can do it, guys, but 20K by the end of the year? Well, if we do, it's only because of you, and I appreciate the support. Speaking of support, I need to give a massive shout out to Brownells. Man, they make it happen for me, guys. And you gotta check out the kit page before this video ends. It's where everything on this build lives, especially the stuff that I do not get to in this video. If you see it, I didn't talk about it, head to the kit page. And even if you decide to go a different route on your build, could you use my buttons at the top of the page? They honestly keep my custom build fires a burning. To Taco Bet, you will not agree with me on the scope. Okay, so let's dive into this bad boy, starting with the Ruger 1022, the base gun for this build. So you'll need to have one of those. And then you're gonna go ahead and stick that Ruger 1022 in this gray Birch Precision chassis. This chassis absolutely seems like the definitive Ruger 1022 stock of our time. It's one of my favorites. It's got Arca rail for the bipod. It's got M-lock for everything else. It's got a barrier stop here. Thunk. It's got a folding stock, it's aluminum light, it's got an eye-turning vibe, and I really like the wide inner-channel pocket for drop-in fitment of just about any Ruger 1022 you can imagine. What I have sitting in here currently is a current run, a Ruger 1022 receiver, but I also have a 30-plus-year-old one that fits in here. It drops in just perfect. I did have one issue though with this stock, and that was I had a sticky mag well right up in there. So I reached out to Gray Birch, and apparently there was a small run that had this issue, just my luck. The solution is to stretch the mag well with a vise or shave it a bit, or file down the mags, or just reach out to Gray Birch and they'll gladly make it right as rain, which is what I decided to do. So this chassis really checks all the boxes. Hard to top this. Well done, Gray Birch. All right, moving over to this slick barrel by Tactical Solutions. It's their 1022 X-Ring threaded bull barrel. Basically, the glory of this barrel, it's a cheaper premium barrel with high-end looks and feels. It's feather light with some tasteful flutes helping achieve the weight sacrifice. This thing comes in at like 1 pound. It's accurate, it's got aluminum shell, it's got a hand-chambered steel bore, and you may not have noticed this even though I said it was threaded because it's got a flush cap on the front here that really kind of completes the unilithic look of this, but it is 1/2 by 28 threaded. So the install on this was a little work. It was pretty stinking tight. I had to throw it in the chest freezer for about 3 hours, and then with the barrel and receiver group removed from the chassis, I had to whack it with a rubber hammer on the back to ram this guy home. So yes, darn good looking and shooting barrel. All right, let's pop down to this part right here. What you're looking at is a Ruger BX trigger. It's basically a drop-in replacement for stock stuff and is a lot less than other custom triggers. The purpose of this, guys, it really reduces the trigger press from 6 pounds pressure to about 2.5 to 3 pounds. I have found this trigger to be crisp, has a positive reset. The safety on this has a good little clack, way better than the lethargic, noiseless yes, no than the OEM group I had in here before. This isn't gonna net you a coveted metal trigger group though. It is rather still budgety and plastic, but I believe it has increased the overall value of my T group on this by at least 23%. If you want that percentage to get even higher though, you should go ahead and add these 2 additional clutch parts that I found from Volquartsen. These little parts are so great. So take your BX and put this extended mag release on here. Great little part, it just helps me navigate the mag release just a little bit better. The form is really perfect. I love this little part. But then the one that you absolutely should consider that should really be in every Ruger 1022 standard, and if you don't have this part in your Ruger 1022, you can thank me later for this, but it's the auto bolt release. It makes it so that you can just slingshot the bolt back in the battery without farting around with like pushing up and then letting go. I think that it makes the manual of arms for this way swifter, and I think this is, if you have a newer shooter, I think it's way more intuitive for them to be able to manipulate charging the round with that auto bolt release. So really consider getting that in this. So for a touch over, man, you have a T-Pack that's just screaming cool. let's go ahead and talk about this now because you're probably already looking at it, but I have a Kung Fu grip by Defcad. Featured here is their exclusive and elusive M81 camo pattern. Check the kit page for those details. But here's what I really like about this grip on this build. So as you can see, it's got a really aggressive angle, and that actually pairs really well with this chassis short folding stock. So you're gonna scrunch up a bit when shooting this, and it just really helps you tuck your arm closer to your body. And it's got a standard AR pistol grip install, which still works on this chassis, even though it's got a beaver tail back here. All right, moving on for the glass, I went with a Leupold Rimfire scope. Their VX Freedom 39x40 second focal plane rimfire scope, to be exact. I basically saw this on another guy's Instagram build, and when I saw that, I'm like, that's the one that I want to try to get a hold of and put on my next build. It didn't really get any more complicated than that. Beyond that, though, I do appreciate the glass and quality of Leupold scopes. Guys, I don't really review scopes. I'm not an SME on this, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm just a normie dad doing what I do. But I know what I like, and here's what I like. I like bigger bells because they let in more light. This guy is bright, clean, and crisp. It's got a 60-yard focus setting, so no farting around on that. It's got a smooth variable zoom. It's got good magnification, super popular 3x9. There's a smaller, less spendy 27x33, but I went with the bigger one. Guys, with room for my vote will always be get the bigger one. I don't know if it's my age, I don't know if it's my eyes, but just having extra magnification whenever I can get that, that is always a win for me. So always get the bigger magnification when you're working with rimfire. That's just my opinion. Do with that what you will. All that said, I did have one pretty big issue, and it had nothing really to do with the scope as much as I had my choice of rings. My choice of high scope rings on this made it so that I actually ran out of vertical adjust on this scope. I ran out, like no more clicks. So why do you still have this on the gun if it didn't work? Well, I am making it work by choosing to have my 0 be at this first big hash down from the center line, which ironically for me was exactly where I was slapping the target at 50 yards. Phew! So I have a good dependable 0. And the other thing that I decided at the end of the day that I like is I really do appreciate where my head and eyes sit for this scope height. I actually prefer it where it is. So it's working for me, but you need to know this when you look at what rings to buy with this entire setup. Either way, plan accordingly, but this thing's fantastic. The only thing I wish this had is I wish it had Leupold's fire dot in the center. Man, that just would have felt pretty stinking awesome on this one. But anyways, great little scope. And well, that's really the way of it. I hope this Artos build has helped you visualize potential. Maybe even spark some ideas to squeeze the most out of what you already got. Speaking of which, you can get these parts anywhere. But if you use my affiliate kit pages, you keep my doors open, and I absolutely appreciate that support. And the handful of you guys that are going out of your way to do this, man, I really do appreciate the support. Be sure to like, comment, share, all the stuff that gets our team on the board. How about you go ahead and drop a comment below? What in the world do you think of this one? And as always, ride fast, shoot straight, get off the couch and into some tactical fellowship, and we'll see you next time.